How you doing? This is John, and welcome to John's Long Box. Today I did something a little bit different. I just grabbed a box at random. I wasn't paying attention, and then just reached in and pulled out a comic. And I said, "This is the video I'm making." I wasn't giving myself a chance to second guess myself or whatever. So, today's random, no thought. Brought the comic, like I looked at it, obviously when I pulled it out of the box, put it right here, started videotaping. So, or recording, videotaping, I guess, is old timer. So, pardon I always seem to start coughing whenever I guess it's because my head's tilted down. But anyway, this is the Teen Titans. This is issue 44. They're back at last. DC Comics. Cover art by Ernie Chan and Vince Coletta. So this is the original run of the Teen Titans. I did the second volume, the famous George Perez Marv Wolfman run, but this is the original run. Okay, the Teen Titans were put on hiatus with issue 43, I think it was. Yes, because this is 44. Duh. And I think the last issue came out in like 10 years ago, but in the comic books they say they've been on hiatus for 2 years, because remember, comic book time is bizarre. Maybe I'll address that right now, but let's look at, like, the Spider-Man debuted in the early 60s, and he's been a teenager for 10 years, and then he was an adult. So comic books, John Byrne always said that the very first, like, Marvel event, which was the Fantastic Four. The Fantastic Four spaceship was 7 years ago. So it's 7 years ago from now. And then all comic book events are tied into to 7 years ago. I think maybe they expanded it to 8 years. So all comic book time is slides. It's squished together. It's fluid. So that's the way we'll work with comic books. So even though the Teen Titans comic, I think, was canceled in the I don't even know when the last issue came out. Late 60s, early 70s. They're just saying it was 2 years ago. Bring it back. So that's the way comic book time works. That's how we explain that Franklin's been a little kid. Reed Richards and Sue's kid's been a little kid for a million years, and Spider-Man's been a college student for 20 years. Because comic book time is weird. It's fluid. It's whatever it needs to be. It's compressed. That's how Iron Man could originally start in the Vietnam War and then become the Iraq War, and then who knows what it is. They probably changed it by now. Even the Iraq War is getting to be too long ago. It'll make Tony an older man than they want. So that's comic book time. Okay, so now we adjust that. So here we have the original Teen Titans. This is Donna Troy. That's Wonder Girl. That's Arthur Curry, I think his name is. Dr. Light. He's the bad guy. That's Speedy. That's Roy Harper. He becomes Arsenal, and that's Green Arrow's sidekick. And Robin, Dick Grayson. And this is Mal Duncan. He was like a civilian helper that was with the Teen Titans. He would, like, operate the base and all the communication stuff like that. And then in this issue, he finds a Guardian suit. The Guardian was a Jack Kirby creation when Jack Kirby came to DC, and he was like a more localized Captain America kind of guy. He had a shield, and he didn't really have too many powers. I think he just had, like, super training or whatever. But that's the Guardian. So what he did now is because the Guardian's last name was Jim Harper, they're saying that Roy Harper and Jim Harper were related, and he somehow had the costume. And then, it's in the comic. Why am I explaining this? So let's take a look. Prizes or cash for Olympic Sales Club. What are they selling here? So I guess you sell some stuff to your friends. Go to your relatives, sell stuff. And let's look at the indicia first. Volume 11. What they mean by that, this isn't the 11th iteration of this comic. This is the 11th year of this comic. Some magazines go by each year is a volume, and some magazines go by how many times it started over its numbering. And so this comic book is taking the magazine approach. So this is 1976, published monthly by National Periodicals. So there we go. That's DC Comics DC Comics used to be called National Comics, just like Marvel Comics used to be called Timely and Atlas. So here we have a splash page with two little panels inserted. And let's look at the credits. We got Paul Levitz. Oh wow, Paul Levitz did one of my my favorite runs of the Legion of Superheroes, and Bob Rozakis. He later on left comics and he started up Mile High Comics, the back issue supply house. Pablo Marcos, as we see, he's been inking a lot of the stuff I've been looking at from Marvel. So here he is the penciler. The penciler always goes first. And Bob Smith is this must have been early in his career because he became a great penciler in his own right. Bob Oda and Jerry Serpe, I don't really know. And Joel Orlando is the editor. Joel Orlando is a longtime DC editor, just a quality guy. So looks like Donna Troy there, seen better days. And the figure's nice, but that face leaves something to desire. And here's Kid Flash, Wally West. There's Mal Duncan. They got to try harder. This is not the best. Oh, let's check this out. This is interesting. So this is Sal Harrington, the president, and Jeanette Kahn. Like her and Karen Berger are two of the most powerful women in comics that you've pretty much never heard of. She was the president is business stuff like that, but the publisher handles the day-to-day. So Jeanette Kahn is super influential in the history of comic books, as far as she was controlling the day-to-day operations of she's like the editor-in-chief. So she was like this, had Stan Lee's position or Jim Shooter's position. And Joe Orlando, I don't know who that, but Vince Coletta is the art director. John Romita Sr. had a salaried position of like an art director for Marvel, so he created like a Marvel style, which was like kind of copying or aping Jack Kirby. So Vince Coletta, who was Jack Kirby's longtime, one of my favorite inkers for Jack Kirby, so he's setting a house style for DC. Hey, it's a phone number. You want to call them up? Oh, that's the advertisement. Okay, I thought it was actual DC phone numbers. So they're coming back. They're coming back to their headquarters. They've been gone for 2 years. And they're all happy to be back, whatever. I forget why they broke up. And Mal's been keeping the equipment up to date for them. So he's like the T-Titans Trouble Alert and all this stuff. And these are all past members of the Teen Titans. Mal, that's him. Lilith. Narc, he was like a caveman. Speedy. Hawk and Dove. Aqualad. So, we got 5 of us. That's a team. Speedy shows up. Yay. And like Green Arrow, Speedy he's just a ladies' man. There's no other way to describe it. He's a ladies' man. He's got women all over the place. Him, Daredevil, and Green Arrow, if you ask me, are like comic books, are 3 biggest ladies' men. There goes my chance to get together with Wonder Girl, and Mr. Armorous Arrow shows up. You see? They even knew it. He's got his arm around her. Fastest man alive. Can't catch a break. So here's... What are the odds? They show up back at the Titans headquarters, the Teen Titans. They had a sponsor. It was like Maximilians, and then it was like Mr. Jupiter. I don't know who their sponsor is now, but he was their Tony Stark that was paying all the bills. So and I guess Mal was on salary to keep all the equipment running. And what are the odds that the day they show up, Dr. Light? What are the odds? And he was a major bad guy. They addressed it in Identity Crisis that he kind of became a goof later on. But he was a major guy. And here, this is before, like, he had, like, intrinsic powers. So he's firing, like, laser guns. Look at this, like, disco balls. And I don't know. It's kind of hokey, the artwork, but it reminds me of, like, a bygone age. I'm actually enjoying this. I kind of like this idea of grabbing something at random and talking about it. So there you go. So remember, he manipulates light. So he's turning himself invisible or after images. And there goes the Flash. What, light handcuffs? Oh, this is in the front. Usually this ad is in the back. So Green Arrow and the fruit pies. Yeah, I'm not even dealing with it. It's going right to fruit pies. And you all know how I feel about fruit pies. Sorry, Green Lantern. I don't care. Get in the jar. Get in the jar. Your movie stunk. Your movie stunk. Okay, this is the DC line of superstars. The Teen Titans, Detective Comics, TV's finest titles, the Super Friends. Oh, I don't know, maybe not we all, I'm speaking too fast. People my age grew up with. Meanwhile, at the Hall of Justice, yeah, we loved it. And then I watch it now and it's not bad. Welcome Back, Kotter. So there was an actual Welcome Back, Kotter comic, because that's what I want. I want Gabe Kaplan. That's what I want in my comic books. So at this point, Green Arrow and Speedy, who there's a wonderful wonderful, I guess is a weird choice of words, but later on he becomes addicted to drugs, and that there's a Green Lantern Green Arrow comic dealing with him like as a heroin addict. So unfortunate name Speedy, and it's one of the important comics. And at the time, Spider-Man did that with Harry Osborn addicted to drugs, so it was kind of like an after-school special. But they treated it very special. They treated it very respectfully, is what I meant to say. So it wasn't just like, don't do drugs, drugs are bad. Like they actually showed him like suffering and the problems going on with the drugs. So there you go. And it's something that stuck with it today. They still reference it. They still bring it up. But at this point, he's kind of hokey, and he has these gimmick arrows. So what is this? A mirror arrow. Yeah, that fit in your quiver. A mirror arrow. So he fires the mirror at him. It might as well have just been a brick arrow. I mean, I thought he said mirror arrow, so hold it up and reflect laser beams. Shoot him in the stomach with the mirror arrow. That worked. But it must have knocked the wind out of him. Look at how Arthur's laying on the ground. So what is this? I got him now. This is just a big iron smash you in the face arrow. That's what he should have shot. You know, shooting lasers at Wonder Girl, and he missed and hit Kid Flash. There you go. Green Arrow wouldn't have missed. Hawkeye wouldn't have missed. So now he's shooting Wonder Girl. You know, she's Amazonian, and then look at Robin. He just ducks out of the way, and the laser hits Mal. Robin. Light's escaping, taking Donna with them. Now what do I do now? Limp after Robin or try to help Mal? That was just a thing that they had to do. They always had excuses for him to not be able to run. Because think about how fast that is. He could run at the speed of light. You can't beat the Flash, so you always have to disable him. So he's running, his leg hurts, he doesn't have the full speed. And, he takes Robin. So he can't do anything. So here we got the Flash and Red Arrow. And these two have like a little bit, he's a little jealous. So there you go. Mal, cool off. The three of us, we could still rescue Robin and Wonder Girl as a team. Stuff it, Mal. I had enough of this kind of team. As far as I'm concerned, this is the end of the Teen Titans. So good job. You know, girl got kidnapped, your buddy got kidnapped, and you give it up. And here they are being tortured. Look, he's just shooting lasers. Don't tell him anything, Robin. Oh yeah, he's trying to get information about the Justice League. So that this cave that they were in, again, because I didn't prepare, I just opened it up. This is where the Justice League, this is one of their hideouts. The Justice League had a cave, and this is, I guess, before the Teen Titans had that Teen Tower, or what are they called it, the T-Tower, or they just met here for whatever reasons. I forget why. Like I said, I haven't read this since I got this at a Playworld. Does anybody remember Playworld? It was a toy store, and they had comic books at one point, and they had a comic book rack, and I got this at the Playworld. So I'm at the Playworld, and that was probably the last time I read it. But so geez, that's probably in 76, 78. You know, I barely remember it. So here he is. So he wants information about the Justice League. Where are they? How can I get in? And I'll lie and you'll suffer. So he's torturing Robin, and Robin don't give in to that stuff. So now he starts torturing Wonder Girl. Leave her alone, you sadistic fiend. I'll tell you what you want to know. So an orbiting magnifying glass, boy wonder, through which I can channel the awesome unfiltered energy of the sun itself. This time merely a passer. Next time, my dear Titans, it'll be the Justice League who feel the invention searing glass. So he wants to murder the Justice League, and I guess he needs information from these two so he can murder the Justice League. Just looking at the artwork, that's a really good face. I like that face. but the backgrounds are suffer. I have to say this art team is good with the human form, the faces, but just the backgrounds are just bad. And this is exactly why I like I said, I never considered myself a DC fan until Crisis on Infinite Earths. But I had obviously a bunch of comic books from DC at the time. There was one Flash comic that I got when I was at a Tom McCann's shoe store, and I was waiting to get sneakers, and I got this comic, and I don't know what happened to it. I mentioned this a few times that a bunch of my comics disappeared, and I would like to find that Flash comic again. I think it was Carmine Infantino, and he fought a bad guy called like Mazzata or something like that. So I'm still looking to find that. But anyway, this is why I never considered myself a DC fan. It was like, look at the backgrounds, again, these figures are fine, but look at the backgrounds. Like, compare this to 76. Like, I already showed some Avengers with John Byrne and George Perez. Look at the backgrounds of that. And then Jack Kirby would have just filled it up with machinery. There's no way Jack Kirby would have left all this empty space. Again, that's perfectly fine. That's pretty good. Here, shooting lasers right in the back. Jeez, taking out Kid Flash, which is no mean. I mean, he's as powerful as the Flash. Unaware of the battle concluding in his own front yard, Barry the Flash Allen kisses his wife before leaving for JLA headquarters, and the fiery doom of Dr. Light, which waits him there. So that's it. He got. I think he's looking for that secret identity. So he found out. Oh, what is this? CBS Saturdays. Sylvester and Tweety, the Bugs Bunny Roadrunner Hour. Oh, this Tarzan show I used to love. Yeah. Shazam and Isis Hour. Arc 2, I remember that. That was terrible. Clue Club, I have no recollections. Children's Film Festival with Sherry Lewis and Lamb Chop. She used to give me the creeps. Way Out Games. And the Fat Albert and the Cosby Kids. This isn't on TV anymore. Does anybody know why Fat Albert and the Cosby Kids isn't on TV anymore? I cannot think of one reason. For those of you who don't know, Saturday morning cartoons was a big deal. You couldn't get me out of bed in time for school during the week, but on Saturday I was like up, sometimes at 6 o'clock in the morning to watch cartoons. And here because we didn't, we had cartoons for a couple hours after school, starting around 3, and then Saturdays, and then Sunday was all church shows, and then sooner or later they started realizing, hey, kids watch cartoons on Sundays too. Beloved Legion issue. Science Fiction Spectacular. So here we go. Speedy, I get, had a change of heart, comes out, and he's just firing out. Just shoot an arrow into his chest. Just your arrow shaft. So what does he shoot? Nice of you to come back home. Seems I trade, Speedy, your arrow shaft for the shaft of my hard light. I could make a joke there. I could make a bunch of jokes there. And here comes Mal. You're not done fighting yet, Light. And now he takes Speedy. And Mal, come on, he's dissolving into light. I blew it. The whole ball game depended on me, and I blew it. Dr. Light wasn't even concerned about me in the least. He doesn't even consider me a Titan. And maybe he's right. I haven't got any superpowers. On every case, I've been the bench warmer. Robin doesn't have any superpowers either. Speedy doesn't have any superpowers either, Mal. So, second stringer, that's me. And now with the first team out of action, it's my turn. So I've got to help them somehow. So he's going through, the Hawk's costume gives me an idea. So he's going through everything. Big as life hang-ups with movable arms and legs. That's pretty cool. Here's the old Jim Apato's Batman. That's my Batman. That's the way Batman looked for me. And this is the Kurt Swan Superman. That's my Superman. That's the way Superman looks for me. So he goes through all the stuff, and he finds this costume, and he puts it on. Again, this is the Guardian's costume. Jim Hammond, the Guardian. And so now he gets the Guardian shield and the helmet. And like I said, he was basically like a Captain America type hero. He has a shield, he has a helmet, and he's looking through the computer banks, finding there's the Flash. Classic Flash costume. Dr. Light's gonna attack, and he zooms around and he takes himself out. And now he's got all the Teen Titans captured, and he didn't take into consideration Mal Duncan, the new Guardian. And what's he gonna do? He makes force fields. Because of the bionics in the suit, he's able to crush it. It's lights out for you. Walk. Smash. Crash. Not quite, Guardian, you pulled your punch. Something I would never do. A pity you never get a chance to learn from your mistakes. But that gave them the time to get free. So now he's up against the entire array of the Teen Titans. 1977 Super DC calendar. A collector's treasury. Pretty cool. Super Friends school supplies. What do we got there? Pencil sharpeners, book covers. That's a thing that we had to do as a kid. We had to cover our books. Anybody else have to do that? Cover your books? I remember that like the day before school, cutting out brown paper bags and making book covers. And then it was great because I would draw all over my books. Portfolio, ruler. I told you, this was a folder, you know. I had a couple of Fantastic Four ones. I had like a Avengers one and a Fantastic Four one. And I think the Avengers one was like for school, and my Fantastic Four one was always filled with comics. And I carried it around with me at school. Notebook, notepad, pencil case, ruler. I'm getting like a little nostalgic for school. A stamp album and a Batcopter. So he shoots him with a rounded ball right in the stomach. That's gotta hurt. Right? I'll take that pistol. Oh, there's the Flash. I'll revive the Flash, and then Robin punches him. You know. And then the Guardian, use that bionics, kid. Use that bionic. Where's his shield? And they just pummel him. You shoot him in the stomach, knock the wind out of him, and then beat the crap out of him. That's how you deal with Arthur. So I made some mistakes, kids, but I'm glad that you learned them. Look, the perfectly good. Look at the background. Looks like she's wearing a human mask. Like she's some demon. Tell it to the Titans. So here's an editorial explaining what happened, why they stopped being published, and why they're coming back. And the Direct Currents Daily Planet. This is the Freedom Fighters. This is sorry, I got distracted. But this is the in-house news, like Marvel used to do it with the Bolton Bulletins. And 204-piece Revolutionary War soldiers. I think these were like cardboard chits. It was like a big rip-off. I don't know anybody who ordered them. Earn your own prizes in cash. So yeah, this was the bicentennial year. So everybody had these tricorner hats and everything like that. Special special, my mouth is messed up set. Special magic set. Offer charms, fun for all. Okay, so magic and bubble. And bubble gum. So there you go. The Teen Titans, this was everything that DC was back then. You know, it was hokey, it was silly. I wasn't too inspired, if you ask me, but it was solid. It was fun. It was kind of four-color. You know, he became a menacing villain later on through Identity Crisis. But I don't know. I'd give it a good C. Nothing too crazy. But it brings back good memories. I probably never would have thought of that Play World before. I ended up getting a job there just when I was like 18, 19 years old, because I just loved going there as a kid. So of course I wanted to go work there. And then it closed down. So I guess I closed down Play World. But that was a fun job. I really liked that. So, and they didn't have comic books when I worked there. So there you go. I guess it was like a weird year back in 1976. So that's the Teen Titans. I hope you enjoyed this. It definitely a stroll down memory lane. Do you like me picking comics at random, or do you want me to pick like more important, comic books? Because this is, nothing. This is comic book filler, but it's not bad. It was, it was just run of the mill, good old solid C-list comic books. But that's that. So I'm rambling, so I'll leave now. But thank you for watching John's Long Box, and I appreciate your time. Thanks a lot. Bye bye.